Okay. All right. So tonight what we're going to do is we're going to work on working into photographs and what we can do with those. So um, I did this a few years ago when the girls went to school and they got their photos done, and they send you a sheet of samples that you can look at and things like that. And of course we ordered photos, but I don't want to waste the samples. So I did this a few years ago. This is my girls, and so I did these of them where I worked into them and just sort of created sort of a bit of a Zen doodle around them and color and paint and stuff like that on those photos. Really, what I was trying to do was cover up the the watermark that the photo studio put on there, right? Because I wanted to use these pictures. I like them, but I didn't want to. I chose other ones to buy. So anyway, I made these two little pictures for my daughters and just thought
We're now
they're
19.
Yeah, they came out really cute.
yeah, aren't they sweet? I just
Yeah.
kind of like them. So anyway, that's sort of what I did with those because I just didn't want to waste those pictures, but I didn't want to order those ones anyway. So in the meantime, I've worked through some of those kind of things, and usually I do more abstract pieces. So this is actually a photo, and you can't see any of the photo there anymore because I've completely covered it with paint and scratching and all that kind of stuff. So now it's just a, I think I have it upside down because I've signed it. Anyway, so I make it into a card, and it's kind of like my abstract cards, but it was a photo. I don't even know what it was. This one is also a photo. Upside down, yes, there we go. And again, I've painted into it, but this part here is still part of the photo, and up here, this is all part of the photo that I've scratched or done something with. So that's kind of fun. And then the third one I was going to show you, this is a photo. I've put it on a piece of mat board, but again, I've scratched into the photo. I've put paint on it. I even put some of my spool labels on there and some circles. So you have no idea that it used to be a photo. I think it was actually a photo of a family, you know, like a whole bunch of family photos that somebody sent to me as a Christmas card. So, I mean, I didn't just get rid of these pictures. I've scanned them all. So I have them on my computer. And now it's just, what do I do with all this photo paper? So anyway, so I have
scissors.
I have a few photos from that I've scanned into my computer, and I'm in some of them, and my babies are in some of them and stuff like that. But
And a big baby.
yeah, and the big baby. Yeah, you're in there too. So anyway, I have those. Some of the other things I was doing a while ago is I was doing goofy photos, and somebody wanted me to do photos of bananas. So this is a big sheet of photo paper that I got done at Costco, and I'm like, you know what, let's do something with it. So I can create something big with it. And then I gotta show you this photo. This is so funny. I went to a garage sale and I found some frames that I thought were kind of neat. They were just little metal frames. And this is the picture. There was a whole series of pictures, and this is the pictures that were in them. It's some sort of bug. And like there's other ones, like it's a mosquito biting someone. And so this is a bug on somebody's skin. I'm like, gross. Can you imagine having that up in your house? Anyway, so I'm going to do something with that because it's on photo paper. So we're going to cover up that bug.
The important part is the paper.
The important part is the paper because it's that, you know, photo paper that has all the stuff on the back and things like that. Now, what I found is the dark pictures, like this picture, is going to be much better probably than this one because this one's pretty light. So this one probably needs a lot of paint. But this one will do some really cool things when we start using the sandpaper, and my favorite is the steel wool. So anyway, all right. So we're going to switch the view so you don't have to look at me and you can look at some of the stuff that I got here. So I kind of went through my little space here, and I found some of the things that I wanted to play with, and some of them are like the sandpaper, and I have a couple of different grits of sandpaper here. And then I found this is kind of like a mesh sandpaper. So I thought, well, I'll give that a try too. This is like a sanding block. I don't know how well it will work. Steel wool, which is my favorite. And then I brought also something to scratch with, and I found this dart. I haven't played darts for a long time, so now it's an art tool. So The other thing I grabbed really quickly was I grabbed something a little bit harder for me to do the scratching on and stuff like that, because this board that I'm working on is pretty porous and stuff. So I don't want to mark it up, or I want to be able to get a good scratch or something when I'm doing things. So, okay. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the steel wool, because it is the most fun to do. So you take a little bit of the steel wool, and I'll try and hold this up to the camera sometimes, but I'm just going to do circles. So look what happens. Isn't that cool? So it's showing really pink on the screen to me, but it's quite orange. And so, I mean, I can go into this and it's going to do it lighter in the lighter areas and darker in the darker areas. And I don't know why it just works so well with this dark. And so, sorry, Caitlin, I'm going to go right over you because this is an abstract, so she's not going to be there anymore. So no one will know that she was there. She's in my painting.
So will the photo always be like red underneath like that, or?
I think so, because these ones have stayed, like these ones turned a bit yellow, and I think it's because it was more of a brownie photo. So let me show you another one. I'm going to do another one. Let's do this ugly bug. Ugh. So, and I'm pressing fairly hard. So this one doesn't have as much of a nice sort of thing to it, but I am getting some scratching happening, but it's more white, pink or anything like that. But I mean, at least maybe I can break out some of these skin gross. Ugh. Who wants to look at your skin that close? It looks like a desert with dried up dirt. It's like gross. Put some lotion on, buddy. Anyway, anyway, so let's try another one. Let's try my bananas. And it's different. Photo paper will do different things. Like this one is kind of a different, it's not as orange as the other one, right? It's got a bit more brownie to it. But it looks like, it looks like electricity at night to me. Every once in a while I have to turn my thing because it starts to get too soft and then doesn't scratch as well. So isn't that cool? I just think it's such a neat thing.
That's very cool. I'm just really surprised.
Yeah, it's just amazing what it does. So there's this one. So where it's white, you can hardly see it. So it's kind of behind her shoulder. And that's where then I started to decide to come in with other things, right? So let's try this. This is this sort of scratchy thing. So I just got like some really cool lines across there, right? And I'm playing with texture and things like that. Here's just some sandpaper. I'm gonna get a piece off. And the sandpaper may not make it as orange as, oh, it's doing pretty good actually. The other thing you could do with this while you're doing it is if you had something that has some sort of a, like a texture to it, you could go over that texture and probably, it's like a rubbing, right? But rub that texture into your piece. That would be cool.
Yeah,
So,
that would be cool.
and like these just end up making like really good cards because they're the right size for a card. And so that's that sandpaper. And then I have this as a bigger grit of sandpaper. Oops. So the sandpaper doesn't turn it as orange, I think, as the other one. So sorry, I'm going right over my baby. So, and I mean, you're taking the finish right off the paper. There's a couple of spots here where this finish is almost gone. And I'm seeing almost blue underneath now because I've gotten down off of the photo part and I'm, putting some of that blue from the, oh, that's not a rag. From the, like the stuff is sort of bluish, but anyway. And then you can start adding things like paint and stuff on it, especially if it's got that little bit of a scratch to it, because then the paint will adhere a little bit more. If it's too shiny, the paint has a hard time with that. Right? You need a little bit of tooth, so. I'm just gonna, sorry, paint over her face a little bit because I'm gonna hide all these people. Any of the people that are in here are gonna be hidden.
So don't make her mad or you'll get hidden in any picture she has of you.
I'm not mad. This is my baby, but I'm just trying to, it's like, forget that you're painting on a picture and just think about the fact that you're creating something on a piece of paper that has a bunch of design on it, right? And try not to, I mean, I'm trying not to make a composition like that. It's not like the ones with the girls where, oh, look, I'm pulling more off. That's interesting.
Mm.
Because I'm working with a very dry brush. I don't mind that though. Put my finger down and now I got it. Oh, I lifted. So it's kind of just sort of abusing the photo paper to see what it will do. So.
Can you use like nails to make designs
You sure
in your
could.
photos?
Yeah. If you had, like, you can use a nail or anything that's sharp, right? So you could use, like this, if I was using this, I could go in and I could draw, let's do it on the bananas. So I can use, if this was a nail, you just scratching it in and you could make little Zen doodles. And little lines. And I've done that on some of the other ones where I went back in and then I just, added some lines. And then the other thing you can do is you could work back in with pencil crayons. So the pencil crayon's not going to stick to the photo, but it might go in those lines that you just created. And it'll color those lines. And if you wipe off because it just won't stick very well to the shiny part of your photo, but it'll stick in any lines that you make. Got a purple here. And so it's adding a little bit of texture. I'm hiding a little bit the fact that it's her hand there, and soon you won't be able to tell what the picture is because I've hidden it so well. But you could draw like little flowers or just little goofy lines. Anything that you find that you can use to scratch. You can create sort of a neat design in. And then people are like, that's a photo? And it's like, yeah. Or was at one time. So where I just scratched, now it's got a bit of what they call tooth roughness. And now I can get a little of that pencil crayon in there. So I can just add sort of a variation of color on top of it. I was going to look to see what this would do. So I guess the side of a blade, I don't know. I've sure made a mess. That's okay.
It's good to have skills.
Well, you know, I'm good at that. Making messes. Hey, Bill, can you get me a bit of water
Sure.
from just in one of my cups there at the sink?
Like this one?
No, like one of the painting ones there. There's a whole bunch of them upside down in that thing. And just a little bit. I don't need very much. I just need a little bit.
1/4 inch.
Wow, not sure.
But enough for you.
Oh, no, I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, I'm just adding a bit of water because I'm gonna just see what happens when I add some water to this and just sort of mush it around. I mean, this is all part of that playing part, you know, where who knows what I'm going to come up with. Let's have a little bit more paint here. Really going with this rusty theme here. But you certainly can't tell what the picture was because I've pretty much covered it. You know, this area here is still mostly the same photograph. I've put a lot of paint over here, but this is all the photograph that I've just scratched into, and that's not me adding anything to it really. So that's kind of cool. I think I like these white edges, so I might have to just sort of see if I can cover them. I don't very often use gold, but it was in my hand when I picked out my colors tonight. I just ordered a whole bunch of paints today or the other day.
Where do you order your paint from?
I've been ordering my paint from Chroma, which is out of BC. It's Chroma Artist Acrylics, and they're a very good price, and I quite like them.
Oh,
But
Yeah.
Oh, so they were delivered by Canada Post, and it says on the package, "Do not freeze."
oh yeah, yeah.
And they put them in the mailbox out on the street overnight.
Oh,
So I don't know what kind of shape they're in. And then, so Bill goes to get them this morning, and because I guess I just assumed that it would be a box and it would come to my door.
oh yeah.
And I don't know how he got it in that bin where the boxes go, because Bill had to poke a hole in the box so that he could get it out because there's no room for him to pull it out.
Oh no.
It's like, are you kidding me? This is horrible.
Oh no.
So I kind of feel good that I've covered up those white edges because they were really the only white in there, and it was kind of bothering me because they were so white.
I actually love the gold on there.
It's really neat, eh? Like,
Yeah.
it's very shiny and kind of
Yeah.
neat. So even though, like I feel like, I've kind of made a bit of a mess of it, but this is a really nice base for a painting or for a little card for me, especially if I'm going to go and work back into it with my white lines and stuff like that. Like I'm feeling pretty confident about, like I've got something really interesting, like this little pathway that's going through here that I
Mm.
quite like. So I know that there's something I can do with this, even if it has these weird lines over here. It doesn't bother me that much because I think it's a nice start. So there's a photograph that, would have just gone into recycle or gone into the garbage. I mean, I have the picture in my computer, which is great. And now it's going to be a card. So I've repurposed it, which is, and then, the other thing you could do, you could also, cut them up and use them in collage for a bigger painting if you wanted to do something like that. So.
Well, that was way cooler than what I had envisioned.
Well, that's good. But it's very simple, but it's just, treating it just like a piece of paper. And where's that other one I had started? Here she is. Katie Bug. I quite like this. I quite like this line thing. That was kind of neat. It's like a brush stroke, but not. Look at how bright it gets. Yeah, it's just like electric.
It reminds me of when I used to take photos. My middle son used to do fire spinning.
Yeah.
And when you take photos of it, it all blends together like that. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's very much like that, isn't it? Yeah, I really like it. It's just the neatest little thing. So yeah, the black, it definitely shows up nicer on the black than anything else, I think. Getting more paint. Just sort of cover up what's going on there. Bye, Caitlin.
Is that your daughter?
Yeah. I mean, they might be appalled by what I'm doing, but you know what, really, what are they going to do with all these photos? They don't want them. They just, we have them all on the computer. So might as well just use them up, and I'll send it to her as a card. She'll never know she's underneath there. So I'm just adding to the orange just by adding more orange. And this one doesn't have those annoying white edges for me to cover up. But again, another good start. You can't tell what it was. And like this one, I could work back in and I could start doing some of those scratching things. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to upset my paint. to do some in there. I'm just adding like little scratchy marks in there. See, I've got too many at the edges because I don't want to go in there because it's too wet. I don't want to disturb it yet. But you know, it'd be good for me to have some inside this.
It reminds me of those, you know, when you're a kid and you color a piece of paper all over and then you color it with a black crayon and then scratch
Yeah.
off the picture.
Yeah, we did that as a project too. That's kind of fun.
Chloe sent me one of those once.
Mhm.
Just the you know, the colored paper with the black on it. And she
Oh.
sent it to me in the card so I could do my own art on it.
Oh, that's nice.
So I scratched out a picture of a red-tailed hawk on it.
Oh, that's very cool. You know, my sister and I did those. I was trying to create a project for one of my art classes, and I wanted to do fridge magnets. So we did those on they were just little weird shapes. What happened to, oh, that's weird. Camera just did something weird. Anyway, what's going on with the camera? Is it having a hard time? Oh, what's going on?
It's focusing weird on you.
I think it's the, it must be the, oh, you know what? I was going to say it's maybe the flight on the, on this is reflecting,
And causing it some
some grief. Anyway, so we just had these weird shapes and we created these little fridge magnets, but yeah, that'd be fun. It's actually easier where I've painted. It's easier for me to do my scratching lines. Like I can feel it. Like when I'm scratching over here, it's a little bit harder to get a perfect line. But where I've painted and where it's a bit wet, the scratches come out really nice and clean. So probably because the moisture from the paint is wreaking havoc on the picture itself. So anyway, look, I got two bottoms done. Don't you wish you had some pictures?
Bottoms up.
Okay, let me see what I can do with this thing. I got to get rid of this bug. I don't even know what it is. Ah. It's still having problems. Is it not focusing for you guys?
No, it's just blurry.
Move your hand up by the camera. If your camera's getting worn out.
Maybe my camera's wearing out.
Yeah.
Right. I thought it was maybe the flight. So why?
I'm not sure. Let's move some of the stuff on the desk.
Move some of this. Oh, maybe it's some of the reflections. Maybe it's having a hard time with the reflections on some of these pictures. We'll see how that works. Maybe it's just
Too much stuff to focus on.
too many things to focus on.
Kind of like an artist.
It's like my life story. Too many things to focus on. No, still doing it, Bill.
Move your hand up. And maybe your camera is just overheating.
Well, that's not good. That's not good.
No, it's going to make it more difficult.
Yeah, I guess it will. Okay, so let's just switch it then. Like, great, technical difficulties. That's all we need.
There. Now we have Karen.
Okay. Oh, well, that's not fun. I'm just adding a whole bunch of paint to this bug. So yeah, the lighter colors just don't come off as nice. So it's more about the paint on this one, I guess. Unless I, wet it and then scratch back into it. Like if I wet it and then the scratching does work a lot better when it's wet.
Oh, yeah.
So
Definitely.
easy that is, right? So if you're, if you're wanting to do a pattern or draw a flower or something, you're going to get a better scratch just by wetting it first. So that might be the key. Look what we learned.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just putting some more colored water on here. Because then I can work in, and it's too watery. Yeah, you got to let it dry a little bit. If it dries a bit, then it scratches up nicer. I'm just doing a scribble scratch, and you'll see how the difference between scratching on the wet and scratching on the dry. So it was almost too wet there.
Uh-huh.
And then it was much easier there because it had
Oh, yeah.
dried a bit. And then this is no water at all. And you can see it hardly scratches at all. It
Yeah,
scratches much
yeah.
nicer. You get more of a sort of a good scratch that way. Can you hand me a rag from down there? They're in the drawer just down there.
Right beside the door down there?
They're in the drawer down there.
The floor here beside the door?
Or there's maybe some on the floor beside the drawer. You could also use, some of those tools and stuff that we used before for making shapes and things like that. You could use those to carve in, if you wanted to do a circle or, use a ruler or something like that to make your lines better. Yeah, this one's going to be a mess. Don't like much about it. But that's the way it goes, right? Sometimes you love what you're doing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just like, what am I doing?
And then Paul came up with this.
Yeah, this is horrible. But maybe it's also the subject matter. I'm struggling with that stupid bug. I probably just need to cover the whole thing and then treat it just like a piece of paper. And then it will be better. That's one of the things I say. I don't like painting outside because I get bugs in my paint.
Or inside.
There you go. Well, it probably doesn't help that bug's right smack dab in the middle too.
Yeah, that's true, right? Because that's a bad sort of composition. You don't want to do
It
that.
is.
Yeah, it's like, who took these photos? They're horrible.
And hopefully they're not watching this.
Well, I'm sorry if they are, but I don't think they are. I'll need something a lot darker to get rid of the bug. I just painted my boredom. I just did. It's a good way to go through my old paints, though. See what I can get rid of. Just see what else I could do with it.
Oh, I'm liking it much better now.
I just smarmed a bunch of paint on it just to get rid of that stuff. So I'm dripping it on and smarming. Yeah, sorry. Now you're just sitting here watching me. I'm like, oh, well, it's really great watching what Karen's doing if she's not paying any attention. Anyway,
Yes.
so I guess we'll have to make it short today. So I'm another photo to put it on this photo. I mean, because I don't have my scraper here and I don't want to disturb Bill too much.
Yeah, always keep a credit card beside me.
Yeah,
I like to use a credit card for that
I
kind of
do
thing.
that too. Yeah, actually, we just had some ones that expired and he left them in a nice little pile on my desk. He says, these are for your art. Okay. Okay, so now I got 2 started because I got this one and I got this one that I just did the card with. I'll scrape that one later. I'm going to let it dry first. This one's quite globby now, which is great. But I can't see that bug at all.
No, it's gone.
What do you
And
think, Chloe? You could do this. Yeah. Anyway, that's something I'll probably have to work back into, and I will eventually. So, but I don't think I have much else to show it. It might be a short night tonight, just because.
did you do something, Chloe, that you can show us? Let's see.
Can you see Chloe?
Yeah, I did this of me. This was the before, and this one was the after.
Oh, you put a little crown on.
Your pant, your finger.
Mhm.
Oh, looks good. It's cute.
Okay, let me see. Just wait. Don't move them yet. I'm just changing it to gallery so I can see it better. Aw, what a cutie pie. Yeah, you don't want to wreck those pictures.
I have a bunch of them because I have a bunch of them. These are all of them that we have.
Oh my
Oh, yeah.
yeah. That's great.
And I also did this one that I started doing. I was just testing things.
Oh, look at the scrub. Yeah, look how nice that looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting, right? It's just interesting what it does. That orange.
Yeah, I like how that's coming out.
Yeah. It's kind of a fun thing. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, maybe we'll just keep it a short night tonight because I don't want
Okay.
people to have to sit here and watch me do all
Okay.
these things. I've done a couple. So you got the gist of it. You know what you need to work on. I'm excited to see what you'll come up with when you find some pictures.
I don't think Elizabeth is going to do this at home tomorrow all day.
I do want to try it, but to be honest, like this course that I'm taking, it really is, there's so much homework.
Oh, is she a
So-
slave driver? Is she?
So it's keeping me pretty busy, but it does look really neat, and I have never seen anything like that before, so it's nice to just see the technique.
Yeah, and see what else you can do.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, well,
So what's up for next week then?
oh, so next week my sister will be here and I'm going to show you guys jelly plates. So you guys don't need to buy them, but I'm going to show you my jelly plate and show you what we're doing with those, okay? They're about $15 at Michael's. They're a bit expensive, but I will show you how to use them and what we're going to do. I see my
Okay.
mom and my sister have just joined us here, but we're pretty much done. So I'll talk to them. But anyway, so I will put on the list what it is we're doing. But Jody and I will be doing a lot of printing with those jelly plates, and I'll show you all the fun things you can do with some of them. So if
Okay.
something you're interested in getting, then you can look at it later. But okay.
All right.
All right.
Thanks so much, Karen.
Okay. Well, we'll talk to you guys later. Okay.
Okay.
Have
Bye,
a good
Chloe.
week. Bye.